Thank you. Now we're live, so Shabbat Shalom to all of those on Zoom land. Thank you so much for being there, and of course in the room, thank you for being here. We are congregation L'Dor Va-Dor. We are a spiritual and inspiring community. We call ourselves either cosmic Judaism or inspirational Judaism. The idea of that is that we're just not the run-of-the-mill temple. We sort of are a combination of many different forms of Judaism, and we welcome anybody, even if you're not Jewish. So thank you for being here with us. We heard Ruth Notiff, the inspiring music of hers. Thank you to Nolan Fredrickson, my grandson, who is running camera, to Sharon Leibovich, and to my granddaughter Madison and my husband, who always help drag everything in, and all of you for being here, because we couldn't be a temple without you, of course. So Shabbat Shalom. Before I get into anything else, I was hacked, and so my computer was hacked, and perhaps some of your emails came up. Today I got a call from somebody saying they were at the store ready to buy me a $500 gift card because somebody sent them an email saying, please buy me a $500 gift card. I would never send you an email asking for money. Anybody on Facebook land or Zoom land, I would never send asking for money. I'm not going to ask you for money. If I ever did that, I'd be calling you to have some conversation, but probably not to ask for money. And so please know it's not me. If you get anything, it's not me. And if there's something that comes up that's serious and you think it's serious, call me. My phone number is on the website, so thank you. I still can't get into Facebook. I've been able to change a lot of my passwords, but not all of them. So, okay, tonight unfortunately we lost one of our own. We lost Cindy Malamed. She was perfectly healthy and fine a couple of weeks ago, and she ended up going into the hospital because she was having a headache. She had a brain tumor. 2 weeks later, she's no longer with us. So we are honoring her and dedicating tonight's Shabbat in her honor, our friend. And if we could just take a moment of silence. Thank you. Tonight we're going to be doing the music of Debbie Friedman, and a lot of you probably saw that online, but somebody came up to me and said, who is Debbie Friedman? So Debbie Friedman was a cantor, because she's no longer with us. She was in California. She was one of those rebel rousers, ahead of her time, women who started thinking we need to extend the music that's coming from the Bima to being more modern. And so she began writing many of the tunes that we now use in temple. Not only did she begin writing them, she started a school, her and Jeff Klepper, saying, we want other people to write music. We need more Jewish music out there. And so all of the famous people that you now hear of, Josh Nelson, Noah Aronson, they all studied under Debbie Friedman and Jeff Klepper. And I got the privilege of seeing her a couple of times and going to her school, although she passed away the year that I signed up to go. So I didn't get to actually learn from her, but I've learned from many of her mentors, the people that she mentored. So please join me as soon as you pick this up. This is called Dodi Li. Dodi li vani lo haroeh bashushanim. Dodi li vani haroeh bashushanim. dili kanilo haroe v'shoshanim. I'd like to now introduce the people that are coming up to do the candle lighting. Patty Babian Aronoff. She's not here. Okay. So stuck in traffic. Do we want to call somebody else to light the candles? Valerie and Emily, you can both come up together. That would be beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. Oh, Patty's here, actually. She just walked in. We need you, Patty. You push the little button in the middle, and when it lights up,
Hello?
it's on.
Yeah,
There you go.
it's on. Okay. All right. You want me to light or do the reading?
Usually we read first.
Okay,
It's up to
all right.
you.
Yeah, sure. Creation began with the words, "Let there be light." Candle lighting sets Shabbat apart from the rest of the week. The lighting of the candles can also serve as a reminder to us to let our inner light shine, even in times where the world may feel dark. We thus are reminded to always bring an intention to light dark places and to repair what is broken wherever we go. So let us bring light into this room and the world as we light this Shabbat candle tonight. Baruch, join me in the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu, v'tzivanu le'anik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbat.
Amen. Do you have anything you wanted to say?
Well, first I apologize, but for once I left very early, and I'm still not used to this 95 traffic. But anyway, well, I think I really like this this reading. We all have the job to bring light to this world. I mean, you know, just if you just smiling at somebody, you know, that can make a very big difference in somebody's day. Okay, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And I loved hearing Hebrew with a French accent. That was wonderful. Please join me in Light These Lights, another Debbie Friedman song. Oh, hear my prayer, I sing to you. Be gracious to the ones I love, and bless them with goodness and mercy and peace. Oh, hear my prayer to you. Let us light these lights and see my way to you, and let us say Amen. Let us light these lights and see my way to you, and let us say Amen. I'd like to now introduce the person that's going to come up and do the Kiddush honor, Debbie Cohen. Thank you, Debbie. bring a little more life into our life. I'm going to turn it on again. The red dot, or the dot in the middle, you push that, it goes on. There you go.
Okay. One of the 10 commandments is remember Zachor, the Sabbath day. We understand this commandment to mean that we must declare Shabbat to be holy. The word Zachor is often associated with wine, and thus the mitzvah of sanctifying Shabbat is done with wine in a blessing called the Kiddush. And so we raise our cup of wine and we recite the blessings of Kiddush to remember the Sabbath day. Please join me in the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
L'chaim. And did you have any words of?
Surely. I just came back from Spain, Portugal and Spain, and while I was in Barcelona, we explored the old Jewish quarter there, which hardly exists. I mean, the shuls have been turned into churches, restaurants, basements, all kinds of places you find tidbits. But I just want to tell you one little tidbit. On one wall was some graffiti, and it said, F Hamas.
Oh.
Totally unexpected, totally,
Yay.
but very interesting. And there was even a shul that somebody paid for. It wasn't a real working shul, but people from America had donated collectibles, and there were cabinets full with a menorah and a plaque, which was very touching that it's still there and it exists and you can see it.
Thank you. What a beautiful trip. Buenas noches. Yeah. So we now are beginning to start to pray. This has all just been warm up, so now we're going to start to pray. And please join in the Lechilach, another Debbie Friedman song. Lechadodi, excuse me. Are some of these tunes sounding kind of familiar from old tunes long ago? No. Okay. So she started writing, I think, in the maybe late 60s. And bless you. Not too long after we started getting rabbis that were female and cantors that were female. And the other thing about Debbie, which, you know, is not widely known, but she was also LGBTQ. And so, yeah. Anyway, please join in a responsive reading where you see the bold, please read boldly. We have gathered here this Shabbat to worship and reflect upon the meaning of our lives and to rediscover that wise purpose without which our ancestors believed no one can live.
End of the week and its beginning.
It is the moment of pause, the refilling of the empty vessel, the renewing of the spirit. It is a time to rest, rejuvenate, and to reflect upon the universality of life and the common goals of all humanity.
Shabbat is the celebration of the family. It brings us together not as islands unto ourselves, but as a family, a community, a nation.
From this, family values are born, love is created, and charity is endowed with meaning. The intro to the Baruch Hu meaning bless. Tonight, instead of thinking how we can bless something outside of ourselves, let us think of ourselves as the example of what God could be in this world. How can I bless others with my life? How can the blessings I have been given help others live better lives? How can our lives be an example of what Jewish values look like? Through us, may others be blessed. Amen. And I hope that you recognize this Baruch Hu, but if you'd like to rise, this is Ben Siegel, so this is not Debbie Friedman. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Hu Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach leolam vaed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach leolam vaed. And if you'd stay standing for the Shema, the other Debbie Friedman Shema. Now this one should be perhaps more familiar. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Leolam Vaed. And you may be seated. Please sing. And you shall love Adonai your God with all of your heart, with all your soul, and with all of your might. And all these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. And you shall teach them diligently unto your children. And you shall speak of them when you're sitting by your house, when you walk on the way, and when you rise up, and when you lie down, and when you lie down. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be for frontlets between your eyes. And thou shalt write them on the doorposts of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates, that you remember and do all of my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God, unto your God. So as an introduction, I'd like people to perhaps get some instruments, if somebody'd like to get the instruments and pass them out, because the next song is kind of a clap your hands, one of Debbie Friedman's that I'm sure you've heard. Oftentimes you hear these Hanukkah, Passover, those kinds of holidays, but it's nice to have a Debbie Friedman evening. Thank you, Sharon. So the next is Micha Mocha, and it's dancing. If you feel like standing up to dance and shake, you may. Want to sit and shake, that's cool too. Want to dance, that's cool too. Norati hilo osefele, norati hilo osefele. Malakude kashega vaneka, okay I am living Moshe. Zeli anu yamu, zeli anu yamu. Adonai hilo. Le'olam va'ed Adonai himlo le'olam va'ed. Back to Micha Mocha. Micha Mocha be'elim Adonai Micha Mocha ne'erav ha'kodesh Norat tehilot oseh peleh Norat tehilot oseh peleh. If you're just now getting an instrument, don't worry, you'll have more time to play it. But not quite yet. So please join in the responsive reading. Bless you. The soul wants nothing more than to grow in its own ways, journeying ever closer to the source of its spiritual sustenance.
Us in the direction the soul wants and needs to go.
Yet, for Shabbat to aid us most effectively, we may have to prepare ourselves for the journey. The Avot V'Imahot, for our fathers and mothers, Abba and Ima. May my parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and all of those that came before me look on my life with pride and blessing. May I be an example of the positive characteristics in their lives. May my light shine on those that need me, and may I find myself ever closer to the source of life, the positive force that my ancestors followed. Please join in the Avot V'Imahot. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu V'Imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Leah Elohei Rachel Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Hanora El Elyon Gomer Chatadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Zocher Chatei Avot V'Imahot U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem L'man Shemo B'Ahava Melech Osher Umoshiach Umagen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham, V'Yetzrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Michayei Hakol Atav Rav Lehoshia, Michachel Chayim V'Chesed, Michayei Hakol B'Rakavim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishanei Afar, Nichamocha Ba'al Givurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memid Umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atah Lechayot Hakol, Baruch Atah Adonai, Mechayei Hakol. Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh, V'Kedoshim B'Kol Yom, Yehalelucha Selah. Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Amen. Thank you. You may be seated. And now we have Debbie Friedman's Oseh Shalom. No? Oh, excuse me. Responsive reading first. If I could reach that certain star and make a wish so true,
It would not just be a wish for me, but a wish for all of you.
in a world so full of problems, my wish would be for peace.
People of all nations joining hands, not wanting to escape or be released.
War, crime, destruction, these three words we use every day.
If I had that one wish, these three words would be wiped away.
Countries would no longer be at war. People would be good to each other.
We were all created equal. God said to love one another.
So, if I had that one wish, it would be for peace, not sorrow.
This way, people just like you and me would have a future, a tomorrow.
12-year-old as a letter to President Clinton. Wow. Oseh Shalom Bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael Ve'yimeru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael Ve'yimeru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, V'al Kol Yisrael Ve'yimeru Amen. Before the silent meditation, we enter this sacred silence, and please read along with me. Yeah? Is it up there? Cool. We enter this sacred silence to voice the longings of our hearts in prayer and to hear the sacred answers. In sacred company, we offer our love to the Holy Source. We have devoted ourselves to this evening, the songs, the prayers, the psalms, the study of our Jewish values, and upholding our Jewish traditions. May our hearts be lifted, may our thoughts be deepened, and may our souls be like a soaring eagle, able to see above the trees all that is beautiful and all that we must work to complete. Please take a few moments of silent meditation.
We'd like to wish a refuah shalema to all those who are in need of healing, both physically, mentally, spiritually. And these are the people we have on our list. And after I read them, then Carol will ask you if you have other additional names. Rita Alsman, Bert Aronoff, Andy Beta, Michelle Bernstein, Sherry Cohen, Roberta Cooper, Deputy Ignacio Diaz, Mary Dishner, Michelle Eric, Irene Feinblatt, Wendy Frank, Laura Gallagher, Margie Goldman Spadurna, Patricia Gomez, Fern Haber, Nadine Herbst, Tara Hollander, Vicki Hollander, Shelley Horowitz, Iris Jacob, Celia Cohn, Samantha Cohn Bartleman, David Kotlier, Linda Kupperman, Penny Martin, Sherry Medler, Lori Messinger, Melissa Swanson Musel, Dr. Suter Nayer, John Normandin, Jay Oberoy, Alfred Paritsky, David Perlman, Laura Perlman Devens, Larry Pinskus, Vivian Pronin, Bernie Rosen, Michael Rosenthal, Laura Santa Cruz, Miriam Sivek, Rochelle Stern, Harry Stone, Michelle Stone, Sephora Taxera, Jacob Viner, Naomi Volan, Mark Wheatley, Charles Wood, Gail Young.
Are there any other names? Thank you. 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 Did I miss anyone? Please join in another Debbie Friedman song, the Misha Berach. She's one of the first people that came up with writing a musical interpretation of Misha Berach. I don't think anybody else has really had one since, because it's just so good. Misha Berach avotinu mikur habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishe Berach imotinu mikor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. So we're going to be talking about Sarah's life tonight, Chayei Sara, and we're beginning to start into the Torah service, but begin with, we have a responsive reading. In this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope.
Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it.
Thank you. I see that now. I'd like to ask Ruth to come up if she would like to do the Torah carrying. And we are going to invite up to carry the Torah Ellen Salkin and Bill Field. Go into like Hava Nagila. Ruth, great, thank you. No, time. They're done. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So please join me in the blessing for the Torah when we get there. Okay. That's okay. Baruch hu et Adonai hamavarach. Baruch Adonai hamavarach leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. V'yihu Chayei Sara mea shana v'isrim shana v'shva shanim shenechaya Sarah. Sarah's lifetime, the span of Sarah's life, came to 120 years. I need a yod. I'm just going to use my paper. V'chamei Sarah bikrid arba has havyon be'eretz Canaan v'yabo Avraham lispor lishra v'lav kota. Sarah died in Kiryat Arba, now Hebron, in the land of Canaan, and Abraham proceeded to mourn for Sarah and to bewail her. V'yakam Abraham me'al panei meto, v'yidaber el b'nei chet lemor. Then Abraham rose from beside his dead and spoke to the Hittites, saying, Gar v'toshav anoki imkaim tanoli echoza lever imchem v'kevrar meti malpana. I am a resident alien among you. Sell me a burial site among you, and I may remove my dead for burial. Vaya'anu beit et Abraham lemor lo. And the Hittites replied to Abraham, saying to him, Shema Enu Adoni Nishi Elohim Ata betochenu b'mivchar kevarenu kevor et mechecha ashmimenu et kevoro. Hear us, my Lord. You are the elect of God among us. Bury your dead in the choicest of our burial places. None of us will withhold his burial place from you for burying your dead. V'yakam Avraham v'yishtachu liam haaretz livnei chet. Thereupon Abraham bowed low to the landowning citizens, the Hittites. And he said to them, if your wish is that I remove my dead for your burial, you must agree to intercede for me with Ephron, the son of Zohar. Vezot haTorah asher shemoshe lifnei v'nei Yisrael hakam Moshe. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la la. You wanna redress this for me? Thank you. Got it? It would help if I brought the stand with me. I needed the English. Blessing after the Torah. Baruch atah. Go ahead. Atah Adonai, Melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah. Amen. I was going to let you. It's okay. So Chayei Sara, the life of Sarah. This passage is called the life of Sarah, but begins after her death at age 127. She died in the land of Canaan. Actually, I think we have people alive close to that age now. She died in the land of Canaan. Abraham makes a deal with Ephron, the Hittite, to purchase a piece of his land for her burial. This is the first known land ownership of the Jewish people in Israel. Ephron thought that Abraham was God-elect and wanted to gift the land to Abraham. Abraham wanted to pay full price, so Ephron finally agreed to sell Abraham the land and the cave of Machpelah. So it was a whole field and a cave. And then Abraham invokes an oath from his chief servant to find a wife for Isaac from the land of Abraham's birth. His servant takes 10 camels with him. He prays along the way and is guided to look for a woman who is kind and who offers water not only to himself, but to his camels as well. The servant then meets Rebekah in Abraham's homeland. Rebekah is Abraham's brother's granddaughter. Abraham's brother's granddaughter. Rebekah responds as the servant had heard in his prayers that she would, with kindness, ask him to provide water not only for himself, but also for his camels. He gives Rebekah a gold nose ring and bracelets. Then she offers that there is plenty of straw and feed and space in their home for the servant and his entourage to sleep. Rebekah's brother Laban arrives and just as graciously invites the servant into their home. Now they're related, of course. Rebekah and her family agree that she will become Isaac's wife, believing that the servant's prophecy of kindness was the proof of God's will for her. Abraham dies at 175 years old. Both Ishmael and Isaac attend his funeral. Abraham had lived in the land of Israel for 100 years and was able to celebrate the 50th birthday of his twin grandsons, Esau and Jacob. And just an aside, I was reading an article in AARP that said they've now come up with some things that they think could make us live till about 200 years old. Yes, we're not only live not well, but live where our organs don't start deteriorating. So they have found some things, some micro, so who knows? We might be living to 200 years again, or maybe they never did. We don't know. Ishmael had 12 sons. They lived a nomadic lifestyle and were all the chieftains of their villages. Ishmael lived to 127 and then dies in the Torah portion, this Torah portion. Ishmael dies. Abraham takes another wife, Keturah, and has 6 sons. The text tells us that Keturah was also a concubine, concluding that Abraham probably had children with Keturah prior to Sarah's death, and it's possible that Keturah and Hagar were the same person that we spoke of last week. They don't quite know for sure. Why is all this information important? Much of it is the record of their lives, how long they lived, what they owned. But at a spiritual level, why is this all included in the Torah? What is to be gleaned from reading it? Sodom was destroyed because they didn't show kindness to the stranger. That had been a direct result of the reaction to people that were stealing during Noah's time when Noah's people were destroyed. The people said, we will only have the things that we own and we will not share. So Sodom was destroyed. But Rebekah is kind and generous, as is her family. I think that this account of Sarah's life shows what Sarah accomplished. Tonight, Debbie Friedman, we show some of what she accomplished. Sarah must have been kind and generous, traits that Sarah would have been looking for in her son's spouse. Before we heard how Sarah was cruel to Hagar, and it seems Sarah dies directly after the incident of Abraham taking Isaac up to the mountain to sacrifice him. Does Sarah's death have anything to do with Abraham's behavior and taking her only son up to the mountain to be sacrificed? We don't know, but it's a theory. Sarah was loved by many, having devoted followers that she brought to believe in a godly life of laws and virtues. Perhaps there's another story of Sarah that we didn't hear before. Sarah often was able to hear God's voice and had intuition that was close to prophecy. God would often tell Abraham to heed the discretion and the advice of Sarah. Sarah was well respected, enough to have a cave purchased for her burial and her whole Torah portion in her name. Sarah is the matriarch of the Jewish people, having lived in Israel and giving us Isaac, and indirectly Ishmael, as well as hundreds of Israelite followers. When Abraham lights the Shabbat candles, his candles do not burn the entire week as Sarah's had. This represents the nature of Sarah, and perhaps all women, to influence the spiritual nature of our homes. The illumination of a candle, a physical representation of light, has a deeper meaning of the light within us. This is traditionally why the women of the household light the Shabbat candles. Sarah, after her death, now has a whole section called The Life of Sarah in Torah, because what we do lives on in the world. We remember the kindness and the good deeds of Rebekah. We remember the influence that Sarah had. We remember how important the intuition of women is and their effect on the hearts of the people. Must we determine what we are doing with our lifetime? What are our convictions? What we do will be our eternal future. The way we represent ourselves, our actions. If you practice faith and kindness, love and compassion, it will result in receiving those things in return. Whatever we send out to the cosmos, returns as a mirror. If we stand with strength and confidence, stand up for what we believe in, we accrue limitless blessings. Coming up this week is Thanksgiving, and although it may be a time that people might disagree about its historical impact and origin, the prophetic representation of Thanksgiving is to be grateful. Many people, rather than use this time for shopping and indulgences, instead choose to utilize these days to give back, to do some community service, Giving Tuesday, to make a special point of creating goodness in the world, and to spend time with loved ones, feeling grateful. Even the Native Americans spend time with loved ones, being grateful, in spite of Thanksgiving and how they interpret it. Everyone born into this world has a unique role to play, and it is incumbent upon us to act in ways that represent who we wish to be. Our sadness must turn to action. Our grief, once we allow it to be felt, must become the sustenance of our mission to create a better life that we wish to be our legacy. As a Jew, we are called to a mission of being light to the nations, to being the righteous few who repair the world, tikkun olam. Also, to invoking those around us to join us in our mission, being kind to the stranger, being helpful to your friend, offering a smile when someone doesn't have their own, making a meal for a sick friend. Even reaching out to ask for help and support is a way of allowing others to be of service to you. And we make the world better with our gratitude, especially as we think about the death of Sarah. What made her life meaningful? What will it be that people say made your life meaningful? What do you want your legacy to be? Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. We are now going to sing Ahavat Olam, which I'm tempted to skip. Another Debbie Friedman song. And you can shake your things if you want. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha ve'aveta, Amcha ve'aveta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha ve'aveta, Amcha ve'aveta. Thank you. Please join and rise if it be your way to stand in body, mind, or spirit for V'Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, l'ateh gedula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, velo samanu b'shechot ha'adama, shelo sam kilkenu kahem, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך. And you can shake your things now. emar, ve'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. Amen. I now invite Sharon up to lead us in the Kaddish and the announcements.
Please be seated for a couple of seconds. Thank you so much for being here. It's a difficult day. Yesterday, we found out that Cindy lost her life, and very dear friend of the congregation and a beautiful woman. And it reminded me of what Carol said in her sermon and her Torah reading, the kind of person that Cindy was. And I appreciate that her friends are here today with us, and I'm very sorry for your loss. And last night, or yesterday, we lost 2 Palm Beach sheriffs on the road, and one is in critical condition, and we're going to be reading their names as well. We honor and remember those who have recently passed: Rita Elias, Roger Johnson, Jeff Knorr, our friend, Cindy Malamed, Corporal Luis Paz, Rabbi Barry Silver, Miriam Stryker, Margie Van Meter, and Deputy Sheriff Ralph Waller. The deputy and the corporal are the 2 sheriffs that passed away yesterday. The November yard sites, we remember with love Miriam Abrin, Jerry G. Beck, Mark Stephen Beck, Clara Cohn, Raylene Fenton, James D. Field, Rose Glick, Louis Greenberg, Pincus D. Herbst, Sandy Jacobs, Henry Kramer, Beverly Levin, Frank Lichtenberg, Sylvia Raskin, Leonard Rose, Nathan Rosenberg, Rose Rosenthal, Walter Spaderna, Hyman Stillerman, David Winston. Are there any other names? Any others? Before? Okay. I would like to call up the friends of Cindy to say a word before we say the Kaddish tonight.
You could stand right here, so you don't have to come up behind the peanut. Can all see you. I'll start in the middle. Okay.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much for having us. We felt she was with us today. We were talking about that. Betsy was her very best friend, and Patricia and I and my husband were her neighbors. And we just adored her. And she had this wonderful dog, just her best friend, I think, Annie. And friends that came to be with her. I believe they were her guardians. But she loved this community. She always talked about synagogue and services, and we're very pleased we could be here with you. We will really miss her, and I'll let these 2 say something too.
Yeah, Cindy was my closest neighbor, and she had Annie, a pet, and I also have a dog. His name is Kiko, and my dog Kiko, every morning when we come out outside, the first thing he wants to see is looking for Cindy and Annie to say good morning. And he's missing her terribly. Every morning that we go out, he pulls me all over all over to her house to see and like say, where are they, And so she will be missed. She was a very special friend to me. I am basically moved recently to the community, but she was always very special to me, and I will miss her terribly.
Cindy was a very good friend to all of us. And it's interesting, she didn't really have any family by blood, but she became like all of our family. She became our family where we live. She became your family in your congregation. And it's just hard to believe that this really happened. Anyway, thank you for having us. Okay, we'll come back.
Now you're our family.
Thank you so
Thank you for coming, and I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you so much, Thank you for this. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you. Cindy always had a smile, just this beautiful, cute little smile, and just was always willing to just do whatever you asked. Hey, Cindy, could you do this? Sure. I heard lots of times Sharon ask, and she always just said yes. And I remember her being back by the Oneg all the time, just talking to people and smiling and happy, just beautiful, kind eyes. And the only thing I thought this morning as I was walking and saying my prayers is, I wish I'd gotten to know her better. Yeah, and I'm glad that she had some wonderful, wonderful friends. She's lucky and blessed because of that. Thank you. I didn't even realize that. I turned it way up. Sorry. Go ahead.
Please rise for the Kaddish. Yiskadal v'yiskadash shemei rabah v'yama divrach yirsei v'yamlich machusei b'chayachonu v'mechonu v'chayeducho beis Yisrael b'agala v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabah mavorach v'olama ulamei ulamaya yisparach v'yistabach v'yisparar v'yisroram v'yisnasei v'yisadar v'yisala v'yisaleh shemei dekudusha berechu Li'elah min kol berchasa v'shirosa, tush b'chasa v'nechamasa, damiram v'alma v'yimaru, amen. Yehei shlama rama min shemaya, v'chayim oleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimaru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav, hu ya'aseh shalom, oleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'yimaru, amen. May the lives and memories of our loved ones stay fresh in our minds and in our hearts, and may they help to guide us forward through our days to a more kind and peaceful life and a better world. Amen. Please say together. Please be seated. We welcome all of you through our doors, and we're very glad to have you all this evening. Shabbat Shalom to everyone. This Tuesday, November 26th, we'll have our Touch of Torah, where we talk about the parsha for the upcoming Shabbat, and that's on Zoom at 7 p.m. on November 26th. On Friday, November 29th, we will have at 7 p.m. our Thanksgiving Shabbat, and we're going to have guests from Temple Beth Shira, Boca/Delray. They're going to be here to just join us. We're just glad to have more people come to join us. And it'll be a beautiful Shabbat. And the following Shabbat, Friday, December 6th at 6:30 p.m., we're having dinner and Shabbat with Temple Beth Shira. And they're having a Beadle Shabbat at 7:30. We're at the South County Civic Center in Delray. Everyone's welcome to the 7:30 service. If you'd like to have dinner with them, that's at 6:30. You have to register and pay, and you can get that on our website or in our newsletter if you'd like to do that. It's $25 a person. But everybody's welcome to the 7:30 service. Oh, you're serving fish and chips and shepherd's pie. Yes. And it's homemade. It's all homemade by their president. He does all the catering. On Sunday, December 8th, we have a very special program that I hope you'll all come to, and I hope you'll invite friends, neighbors, students, grandchildren, children, bring them. This is a really important film. I saw this at a Holocaust Students Awareness Day a couple of weeks ago, and I asked for permission to show it to Congregation L'Dor Va-Dor. We didn't feel that this was a big enough venue, so we're going to be showing it at the Unitarian Universalistic Fellowship in Boca, which is between Yamada and Glades off of on St. Andrews at 3 p.m. on December 8th. The film is called Shoah Ambassadors, and it's 5 Holocaust survivors speaking to 2 young people, young adults, and telling them their story, and they interpret it the way they feel they can interpret it through their art. And it's a wonderful, wonderful film. And that's all I'm going to say. And I've invited Helen Daniel, who's a child Holocaust survivor, and she's going to be speaking and answering questions after the film. Please join us there. It's a free program, and it's going to be lovely. The following Saturday, December 14th, we have been invited by Rochelle at Movies of Delray to see a wonderful film. It's only going to be shown exclusively at Movies of Delray right now. It's called Good Shabbos, and it's a funny and heartwarming film, and we have to see it together, and we're going to have an interfaith discussion afterwards, and it's $8, the regular fee for Movies of Delray, and you'll pay at the theater. And it's at 7 o'clock. The movie's actually going to start we're going to start the program at 7:15, but we'll gather at 7 p.m. so nobody will miss any of it. But it's a really good film, and it's funny and heartwarming. Look for L'Dor Va-Dor on our social media, our YouTube, our Facebook, our Instagram, our website, l'dorvador.org, and find out all the information that I've talked about now and more. Thank you to Madison Ferguson for keeping our social media up to date, and thanks Nolan for doing what he's doing on the camera. Please stay for our Oneg Shabbat and schmooze with us. We'd love to meet you more, and I want to thank Cantor Carol for her lovely service tonight. I want to thank all of you for being here. I want to thank Jim, her husband, Madison and Nolan, and my husband Ed for schlepping and helping. And I want to thank the people in the back for setting up the Oneg and getting it ready for us. And also Ellen Salkin and Nilda for greeting people when they came in tonight. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Have a beautiful week and happy Thanksgiving. I wish you all well, peace and harmony. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon. I wanted to read a poem by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers. I'll start again. People are ready to eat before we're done. I see that. We want to eat now. It is 8:09, so we have a couple minutes that we're past. Hope by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest when the gale is heard, and sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard hope in the chilliest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asks a crumb of me. I thought that was a suiting final benediction. And please join in Miriam's song. Maybe not. I think, do you want to do it anyway? We already picked up all the instruments. I know. And the women dancing with their timbals followed Miriam as she sang her song. the women dance, dance the whole night long. And the women dancing with their timbrels followed Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one who we've exalted. Miriam and the women dance the whole night long. Miriam was the weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one that sang her history. With every hair and every strand, she crafted her delight. Everyone touched the spirit and dances toward the light. And the women dancing with their timbrels follow Miriam as she sang her song. Sing a song to the one who we've exalted. Miriam and the women dance the whole night long. Thank you, dancers. Thank you, everybody. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, friends, for coming and helping to honor Cindy with us, part of our family. You are now part of our family. Thank you, everybody that helped tonight. All of you on Facebook land. I hope you get to be here in person at some point as well. We know that it's hard sometimes to get in, but we're glad you're part of us too. And now Suzanne is going to bring up so we can say the motzi. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together as our joyful prayer is said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Thank you, Suzanne. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Have a wonderful week. Have a happy Thanksgiving. We will be here next Friday.